Hey everybody, welcome back to Engaging the Phenomenon. And today I'm here to announce Crash Retrieval Week, which we started last year. We're continuing this year. And Crash Retrieval Week this year is going to be November 20th through November 26th. And obviously, before and after that is great too. Here with Crash Retrieval Week, we're going to help spread the awareness of crash retrievals to begin with. So the idea of crash retrievals, a lot of people are, familiar with Roswell, 1947 crash, in popular culture. So that's always a starting point for people. But obviously there are a lot more crash retrieval cases. And, again, James Fox just came out with his film Moment of Contact, which is dealing with a crash retrieval case in, Brazil in 1996, which is super recent considering a lot of these older crash retrieval cases going back to the 40s and 50s and 60s and so on. So again, crash retrievals, if real, which I think there's a lot of evidence and reason to believe that they are true, genuine, at least in the major theme of, crashed, acquired, recovered, as Eric Davis said, landed technology that is of non-human origin, or at least non-human origin the way that we would think of it, aka a breakaway technology. In any regard, that would be incredible. And the reality of, the crash retrieval phenomenon is, the crown jewel of, any kind of evidence you could provide for this subject. If there are, alleged UFO crafts and technology that has been in the possession of, the United States government and or other governments, the impact of that is going to be incredibly profound. And, we know that recently there's been talk of legacy programs or legacy efforts, which Hal Puthoff had said are, old, UAP studies that go back decades and decades. Probably involve private contractors and are very well hidden. So, we even know recently with the current language that's being put forward through different defense bills and intelligence bills that they're looking for, they have created language for amnesty for people involved in these programs. And so we're facing the possibility that individuals involved in those programs are going to come forward. And I don't know to what extent that is going to be in a classified setting or to the public, but I know that the initiative is meant to be to bring transparency to these issues. So again, for people to come together for at least 1 week, and, share information and awareness and content, regarding crash retrievals, whether it be, a specific crash retrieval case or articles or videos that you think are important regarding the crash retrieval subject, and, sharing them on social media, tweeting about it, sharing it on Facebook or Instagram, different information regarding crash retrievals. And again, this, we're very likely facing the possibility that this aspect of the UFO phenomenon is finally going to, in a credible way, be introduced to the general public. Obviously, we know there was the New York Times article with Ralph Blumenthal and Leslie Kean that did cite Dr. Eric Davis in a classified briefing, which Christopher Mellon had confirmed, that, Dr. Eric Davis was talking about off-world vehicles, right? And reverse engineering programs or programs that were meant to try and look at this technology and figure out how it works. At the very least, if they could try to, have a technology that's inspired from that. But again, so with that in mind, I think that it's important that we take this conversation out of just the UFO community in a serious way, because it's in crazy pop culture, right? All over Independence Day and all these movies that have UFOs crashing on Earth and so on. But then it gets hyperbolic from there. But maybe ask or introduce the idea to people in your social circles that you may be none the wiser, right? Like, a good way to open people's minds is with questions. So the idea of, what if there was actually non-human technology that has been in our possession and has been studied, right? General questions like that. So again, I think we need to take the conversation out of the UFO community, more so into social circles and the dinner table and mainstream, the water cooler, what have you, because we are facing the real possibility that this, the crash retrieval of UFO technology, UFO intelligence is going to be a public conversation sooner than later. And are people prepared for that? I think having these kind of conversations is useful. So again, Crash Retrieval Week, I'm having at least 2 mega panels. Basically, I call them mega panels. Whatever. I'm having 2 really awesome panels during that week, which some of my friends in the community are going to participate in. One at the beginning of the week, one at the end of the week. And maybe I can participate in other initiatives during that week. There is going to be a super awesome Crash Retrieval article that's probably going to come out before Crash Retrieval Week, that it might take people that entire time just to read it, because it's going to be a monster of an article. And a few of my colleagues and friends are working on that, and I anticipate that. So look forward to that to drop soon. Which I'm sure everything that's in that article by the people that are putting it out soon is going to have a lot for people to chew on, and not only research, but again, during Crash Retrieval Week, there's plenty of topics that are going to be in there that people can discuss, and again, spread awareness of. If you're a podcaster, a blogger, a YouTuber, I encourage you during Crash Retrieval Week to put out content regarding crash retrievals. Again, whatever aspect of it. There's, looking at some of the cases, right? But there's also the humanities aspect of it, of how would the reality of crash retrievals affect our society? How would it affect you personally? How would it affect your friends and family personally? How would it affect psychology, art, right? Like all these different things. So it's like kind of like the Jeff Kripal humanities aspect of it, as well as the UFO researcher aspect of it, of studying the cases. So again, I hope everybody participates in Crash Retrieval Week. I'm looking forward to it. It is like if crash retrievals are real, which I believe at this point we have very good reason to believe that not only that they're real, but this conversation is going to come to the fore very soon. And we should be prepared for that conversation, right? And not only being well informed ourselves, but skillful in communicating to people who might be new to these ideas in a skillful way, to communicate to them the possibility of something like this, and it possibly being, again, in the New York Times or whatever kind of mainstream media it ends up coming out in and being reported on. So again, I think that's important. And without further ado, I'll leave this to my friend Ryan Robbins.
Greetings. I will be partaking in UFO Crash Retrieval Week, where for an entire week we promote the proposition that non-human technologies of unknown provenance have been retrieved by the United States government and potentially others as well. And this is a great and momentous time to do so. The next UFO report is coming out very soon. The United States Congress themselves are seeking answers on whether or not there is a crash retrieval program somewhere within the United States government. We just got the Moment of Contact movie from James Fox of an alleged crash of a non-human machine and the retrieval of it, as well as the remains of two biological creatures. And so to partake in this festivities, all you have to do really is you can make videos, tweet about it, write blog posts about it, basically focus on the importance of this if it is indeed true. And I would argue there's some significant evidence that it is. Just look at the corroboration of the Virginia UFO event series of 1996. It's pretty incredible. Now, it goes without saying that if the United States government, just as an example, has retrieved artifacts from non-human intelligence, of which surpass all known human technology, this is the most conclusive evidence that could ever possibly be acquired that we're not alone. The Holy Grail, if you will. So let's partake in this or these festivities, exploring crash retrievals and working together to bring transparency on our place in the universe.